Hello students, I am Bishwajit Nath. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's topic is refraction of light at a spherical surface and conjugate Cauchy relation. First topic is refraction of light at a concave spherical surface. Let M1, M2 is a concave spherical refracting surface whose refractive index is mu2 and mu1 is the refractive index of the surrounding. P is a point object placed on the axis of the surface. C is the center of curvature of M1, M2. That's why CA is the radius of curvature and CAN is normal to M1, M2. PA is the incident light ray and AQ is the refracted light ray. Here we can extend QA in the backward direction which intersects the axis of the surface at the point I. That's why I is the image of point object P. Here PAC is equal to I1 is equal to angle of incidence and NAQ is equal to I2 is equal to angle of refraction. Okay. Since IAC is equal to vertically opposite NAQ, that's why IAC, angle IAC is equal to I2. And let angle IAC is equal to theta. Here object distance is OP is equal to U and image distance is OI is equal to V. Now we are going to prove about the relation between U and V. From Snell's law of refraction, we can write mu1 sine I1 is equal to mu2 sine I2. This is the general form of Snell's law. Now, dividing both sides by sine theta, we can write mu1 sine I1 by sine theta is equal to mu2 sine I2 by sine theta. Now, from triangle PAC, we can write from Lami's theorem sine I1 by sine theta 1 is equal to the opposite side of I1 is PC. PC by opposite side of theta is PA. Therefore, I sine I1 by sine theta is equal to PC by PA. And from triangle ICA, we can write sine I2 by sine theta is equal to IC by IA. Here, the opposite angle of I2 is opposite side of I2 is IC and opposite side of theta is IA. This comes from Lami's theorem. Now, substituting these values, we can write mu1 PC by PA is equal to mu2 IC by IA. We know that PC is equal to OP minus OC. PC is equal to OP minus OC. PA approximately equal to PO because the curvature of the spherical surface is very small. That's why PA is approximately equal to PO. Similarly, IC is equal to OI minus OC, and IA approximately equal to IO, because the curvature of the spherical surface is very small. Now we know that object distance OP is equal to minus U, image distance OI is equal to minus V, radius of curvature OC is equal to minus R. OP is equal to object distance, OI is equal to image distance, and OC is equal to radius of curvature. All the points are in left side of the O. That's why we take the negative sign. Now we can put these values in this equation, or in this equation 2 we can write mu1 U minus R by U is equal to mu2 V minus R by V. Now we can write mu1 minus mu1 R by U is equal to mu2 minus mu2 R by V. This gives mu2 by V minus mu1 by U is equal to mu2 minus mu1 by R. This is the relation among UV and R, that is object distance, image distance, and radius of curvature. In our second case, the diffraction of light through convex diffracting surface. Here M1, M2 is a convex refracting surface, P is the point object, and PA is the incident light ray. AI is the refracted light ray which intersects the axis of the surface at the point I. That's why I is the image of the point P. Here P is placed on the axis of the surface. C is the center of curvature. Therefore CN is the normal at the point A. PAN is equal to I1 is equal to angle of incidence, and CAI is equal to I2 is equal to angle of refraction. OC is equal to CA is equal to radius of curvature, and OP is the object distance, and OI is the image distance. Here object distance is negative but image distance is positive, and radius of curvature is also positive, because the image object is on the left hand side and image and center of curvature on the right hand side of the surface M1, M2. Similarly, mu2 is the refractive index of the convex surface, and mu1 is the refractive index of the surrounding. OCA is equal to theta. Now I am going to establish the relation between U, V and R. We know from Snell's law, mu1 sin I1 is equal to mu2 sin I2, where I1 is the angle of incidence and I2 is the angle of refraction, and mu1 is the refractive index of the surrounding, and mu2 is the refractive index of the refractive medium. Now from triangle PAC and triangle ACI we can write sin I1 by sin theta is equal to the opposite side of I1 is PC, therefore, and opposite side of theta is PA. Therefore sin I1 by sin theta is equal to PC by PA. Similarly, sin I2 by sin theta is equal to CI by AI, CI by AI. Okay, this is known as Lami's theorem. Now from equation 1 and equation 2 we can write that mu1 PC by PA is equal to mu2 CI by AI. Now we can write PC is equal to OP plus OC. OP plus OC. PA is approximately equal to PO because the curvature of the M1 M2 is very small. That's why PA approximately equal to PO. And CI is equal to OI minus OC. OI minus OC. And AI approximately equal to OY because the radius of curvature of the surface M1 M2 is very small. Now object distance is equal to OP is equal to minus U. Image distance is equal to OY is equal to plus V. OP is equal to minus U, OI is equal to plus V. Radius of curvature OC is equal to plus R. Now we can put this value in equation 3. Therefore we can write mu1 U minus R by U is equal to mu2 V minus R by V. This gives mu1 minus mu1 by R by mu1 R by U is equal to mu2 minus mu2 R by V. This gives mu2 by V minus mu1 by U is equal to mu2 minus mu1 by V. This is the relation among U, V and R. This is the relation between U, V and R. Okay. Now magnification of image M is equal to CI by CP, that is image distance from center of curvature by object distance from center of curvature. This is equal to V minus R by R minus U, taking sign convention. Okay, and from previous equation we know that mu2 into R minus V by V is equal to mu1 U minus R by U. This gives M is equal to minus mu1 V by mu2 U. This is the magnification of image. Okay. Now we are going to find out the first focal length. From the definition of first focus we know that when the object is placed at the first principal focus on the principal axis of the refracting surface, then the image formed at infinity. In case of convex refracting surface, the object is real. In case of concave refracting surface, the object is virtual. That is, when V tends to infinity, then U is equal to F1. Now, from the equation mu2 by V minus mu1 by U is equal to mu2 minus mu1 by R, we have minus mu1 by F1 is equal to minus mu2 by mu1 by R. Since 1 by infinity is equal to 0. Now putting infinity in place of V and we put F1 in place of U. This gives F1 is equal to minus mu1 R by mu2 minus mu1. This is the first principal focal length or F1. Now For the second principal focus, we know that when the object is placed at infinity, then the image formed at the focus. Therefore, when u tends to infinity, then v is equal to f2. Now, from the equation mu2 by v minus mu1 by u is equal to mu2 minus mu1 by r, we place f2 in place of v and infinity in place of u. That's why these terms will be 0. Therefore, mu2 by f2 is equal to mu1 minus mu2 by minus mu1 by r. This gives f2 is equal to mu2 r by mu2 minus mu1. This is the second principal focal length. From the two above relations, we can write that mu1 f2 is equal plus mu2 f1. mu1 f2 plus mu2 f1 is equal to 0. This is end of our discussion for today. If you like my video, then please click the like button and please subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching my video.